Loading and spinning.
Oh my gosh. We're so cute right now. I really like this.
This is a good setup.
Isn't this cute? Okay. Okay, period. Hello. My name is Jill, and I'm doing this for the first time all by myself, and it shows. But could you guess? Because this looks pretty freaking professional. I don't know. Welcome back to Live at Ritual Space. It is Wednesday night, and we're yapping with pals. That's what we do. And I have my friend Sarra here, Sarra Lashhab of Healing Loudly LLC, homegirl. So glad to chat with you. I'm so glad to chat because Sarra has a lot of amazing things going on in her life, her professional life. She's a real one, so we're going to talk. We're going to yap. We're going to hear all about what you're doing and what you got going on and the joy of being with you on this journey of supporting women.
I know.
So I'm so excited you're here.
Yeah, you've been with me since the beginning, since before I had any clients.
Same.
Which is crazy.
Same. Yeah. Wow, we were just two baby therapists in the world. Before we turned the camera on, we were reminiscing because I met you during the first Ritual Reset, which was like a monthly networking event that we did. It was super like casual, super light. We're like, maybe people will come. Maybe. And they did, and Sarra was one of them. And that was the first time I met you. You just showed up, and you're like, hi. I need to know people. And I was like, same. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, you had a really good turnout that day. That was like 10, 15 people.
Yeah.
And it was the first time it was in Ritual Space. It felt very like put together. It felt very like professional. And I loved like being here. It was like one of my first networking events. It might have been like literally my second one that I had ever shown up to.
Okay, because I think of you as the queen of networking. You're always networking.
I like making friends.
You do it so well. You do it really well. And I think that also lends to the amount of success that you're seeing for yourself. Mm-hmm. You're like the mayor of everywhere.
Yeah, I try to be everywhere as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just like connecting with people. I think that's kind of where it's like coming from. I don't really see it as like, hi, I'm Sarra. Well, what can you give me? What can I give you? Right. It's more just like a relationship building.
Totally. Yeah. As a overwhelmed new business owner, I was like, how does she make the fucking time? How does she do this? But I'm learning through you. And for you also pulling me out of the house, be like, you should come to this, which I so appreciate that. That's girl gang energy for sure. Yeah, there is benefit to networking, which I've always known, but it almost feels like for me this like additional thing that I have to make time for. And I think it usually gets put on the back burner for me, at least. So
yeah, because sometimes
I know how important it is.
Like it can feel kind of like draining, like a little bit, like just depending on like the crowd that you're around.
Yeah.
But like when you're in the right crowd, like I get like energy, from that. Yes. And then like friendships too.
Do you know you're a human design?
Yes. With my
you're a manifesting generator.
Yes.
Of course you know you're human design. My God. But do you know if you're like a single definition or like a dual definition? Mm-mm. There's something in the human, I don't know what it's called specifically, but whatever it is for me is I'm a single definition. So the way I'm more energized by my own time and space.
Like introvert versus extrovert, kind of?
Kind of. I think it alludes to that. But I get revitalized in my own space, my own company. Mm-hmm. Though I do love socializing and being around other people. Mm-hmm.
So I don't.
But I reset.
Yeah, I don't know like what it is in my human design, but I feel like I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like socially charged.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know. It works out for networking.
It works out for networking. It sure does. Does it work out in therapy? It's a little bit different.
Yeah, because I mean, like, it's more of like a one-way street, like in therapy. Because I imagine myself as like a container that like people like pour themselves into.
Yeah.
And like you're just holding that space, and like I also just embody like what their emotions are. So when they tell me that they're feeling sad, I have them describe like the sadness in their body, and I try to feel it within my own body and help them navigate it.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you take care of yourself with doing that all day, every day in a busy practice?
I go home and I get some treats. I get some treats. Right now, my favorite treat is sparkling water, which is like so simple, but like it just feels like I'm coming home to like something special.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know about recess moods? I believe is how they're marketed, which is hilarious.
Is that the one that we tried?
I think so. No, that was Kin.
Okay.
Those were Kin mocktails. We tried. Mine tasted like banana baby food.
Yeah.
And yours tasted
minty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a experience.
Yeah.
But recess is it's sparkling water, but they like have like magnesium and L-theanine in it, so it's like meant to like create a mood. They're advertised as moods.
No,
so
I haven't.
They have different moods. They have different flavors. They're good. They're good.
Yeah,
they're really good.
That could be my special treat when I come home.
I think it would be a special treat. Strongly suggest the strawberry rose flavor.
That sounds good.
Yeah, and I'm convinced that they help me with migraines because there's magnesium in it, and I tell myself that it's the cure. It's really just an excuse to go get a recess.
Yeah, called placebo effect.
Yeah, mind over matter.
Right.
Which we know all about. Yeah, because we're therapists.
Same thing.
Yeah, tell me about your journey. What do the people want to know about your journey? Because what you might not know in watching this and hearing this is Sarah is a licensed mental health professional. You have a booming therapy practice, so much so that she is opening an office space with other therapists. And it's a time of expansion and growth, which is amazing. And to know also where you started when you were still working at Project Health and growing your clients. I mean, you've grown so much in a year, let alone the 2 years I've known you.
No, I think it's just been 1 year.
Just 1 year?
Yeah, it just feels like longer.
It does, but yeah. But I mean, that's incredible growth in a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was working at Project Help until January of this year.
Whoa! That's right.
Yeah. So Project Help was like my dream job. I started at Project Help 6 years ago, but I knew of Project Help when I was 15, and that's how I got into everything. I was volunteering at their fundraisers because you had to get hours being in high school, and then I just like fell in love with psychology and like helping survivors. I remember like during the first fundraiser, there was a therapist that spoke at the fundraiser, and she pulled up a chair and she described the survivors that sit in that chair and like how she helps them. And so that was like a very like pivotal moment for me. And even in my logo design that I chose, it's 2 chairs next to each other with a heart in the middle, like attaching them, just to symbolize, the work that I do with my clients.
Yeah, it's so powerful. Yeah. Is most of your caseload survivors, or all of them?
Yeah, I would say most of them. I mean, at least 80%. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's who I really I want to help. That's what I have a passion for.
Yeah.
Interpersonal relationship trauma, sexual assault, domestic violence, relationship abuse, childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you always known that's something that you're passionate about? Like you've known for a long time that that's something that you want to support with. I guess if you were 14 or 15 and supporting in that space, it was something you were drawn to.
Yeah, so when I was 15, I was a sophomore, and then either my junior or senior year, I started taking psychology courses and just kept on aligning everything that I did from then to now, just kept aligning in that direction. Even I was sexually assaulted when I was 17, and so going through my own healing journey with that, and seeing myself have progress with PTSD symptoms, and I no longer have PTSD, but just seeing myself being able to overcome that makes me want to help other people overcome that too.
Absolutely. Isn't that what makes us really the most qualified to do anything? And the expert of anything is through our lived experience.
Yeah. There's a lot of the lived experience help other people. And it's coming from like a place of like knowing and understanding, like you can walk into a room and just be like, that person gets it.
Yeah.
You know, and like you don't have to question whether like you're going to be believed or like, you know, feel ashamed of like what you've been through because they've been through the same thing.
Yeah. It's powerful work that you do. It's so awesome. Sarah and I, in May, which feels like so long ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. It just feels like that's how much has changed.
Yes,
and literally
so
since May 10th, we co-hosted a womb healing retreat here at Ritual Space, and that was epic.
Mm-hmm.
Like that felt so good. The energy of that space was really powerful. Obviously, when women gather, we're pretty powerful, and we create such beautiful experiences, but to also like create such a safe container for women to explore this whole concept of womb healing for themselves, some of them for the first time. It is powerful, and to know that you're like held in a space where you're being supported to explore that, and all the discomfort that can come up in that is important. And assaults and like recovering and healing from sexual assault obviously is a huge part of reconnecting with the womb space in an empowered way.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really meaningful that we got to create that space together, and I already have another one on the calendar, a date for the fall, which I know we have to talk about because I gotta know how it fits in your busy schedule.
It's gonna fit.
It's gonna fit. It's just going to. But yeah, that was a profound experience, and for myself, I think I've always been passionate about holding space for people, and it's interesting. Someone asked me the other day, when did you realize like you wanted to do be a therapist or in some capacity? I'm a hypnotherapist, a little bit different than a counselor, but at the same time similar energy of wanting to hold space for people and process their experiences. And I was like, well, I am the oldest daughter, so
yeah.
I was my mother's therapist since I was very young, and my sister's therapist, and she was very young. So I think I've just like been conditioned to do that, to be in that role. And through my own healing journey of understanding what that means for me as a woman to hold space for others and other women, it's led me down, and my own womb healing has led me to this path.
We're definitely eldest daughter energy,
dude. Oldest daughter energy, man.
I know.
Do you resonate with that though? Like, do you think that impacts how you show up as a therapist, or even your desire to be one?
Yeah, I think it impacts my level of like responsibility. Like growing up, like I was always in comparison to like my younger sisters, like they were always the strictest with me. You know, and then like as the years went on, like more lax with the other ones. So I was the guinea pig and testing out like all the rules, and like they're very, very structured rules, you know. So now in my life, I'm very like responsible and also structured, and learning how to get some flexibility, you know, and not have to be like so structured and that everything's gonna be okay if it's not.
Absolutely, dude, I feel it. I think this journey of like womb healing for me, and my journey with it started with healing from a relationship, not directly connected to sexual assault, but just the energy that I felt in my womb space, in that space, or even associated with my own sexuality after just an oppressive relationship, and needing to like heal there and go there and address all of those challenging emotions that I experienced through that separation and whatever. And it led me on this journey of like, oh, womb healing is so much more than just like healing grief from a breakup and challenging like relationship dynamics. I was like, this is like inner child healing, this is inner like mother healing, this is literally everything. It's tied to so much.
Yeah, even like pregnancy, and you know, we had a lot of like moms in the group.
Women in their journey of having a child, infertility, like that was all present in the group. Women who didn't want to have children, and how that still impacts them as someone with a womb, because I think our society has opinions about what we should do with our bodies, regardless of whether we use our womb or not.
Right.
It's like you don't fucking win. Everyone has a fucking opinion. So all of that conditioning showed up and was represented in that room for the womb retreat, and I thought that was powerful to also help everyone understand the scope of how this impacts all of us as individuals, but also like a collective of women that are all just trying to, I think at the end of the day, feel empowered in how we show up for ourselves and our relationships and create our businesses, create our lives in a way that feels good and not how we feel like we should or connected to shame and guilt for just existing.
Yeah, and then thinking about like our womb space from like a trauma perspective.
Yeah.
A lot of people who have been through trauma, especially sexual trauma, don't feel connected to their bodies. So there's like this huge like disconnect, numbness, can't identify like emotions like within themselves, disconnect even from like feminine energy because feminine energy feels unsafe. Like if the more feminine I am, like will I be objectified? The male gaze is like very disturbing, to a lot of women, and so denying like some of our feminine parts feels almost like protective. And so when you asked me to like do the womb retreat, I was super excited because of like my background in those parts and getting women to like reconnect with their like feminine sides and like their womb space.
Yeah, it was such a deliciously feminine space, which I loved. I don't know how we're gonna top it.
Well, we talked about topping it by doing like a whole weekend.
I know. That's
Airbnb.
It's still in the ether. That's manifesting for sure. I think what was missing from our retreat, the only thing that I could really think of in this moment was just more time.
Yeah.
To connect on just like a personal level with everyone, because we were yapping.
Yeah.
And we were behind schedule that day because everyone was yapping, but also it was beautiful. People were like making these powerful connections and making these kind of like aha moments. Like we had a range of emotions happening.
Yeah.
Which thank goodness we had therapists in the space to navigate that for people. But that's also how powerful this kind of work is, and to do it in such a really beautiful and nurturing container.
Yeah, and I love the way that our day flowed, with coming together, like setting an intention for the day, the altar, moving into like the group hypnosis, which I had a lot of trouble trying to relax in, but I got there. And then, yoga and like I got there. And then the yoga with like the somatic, like touching with like giving yourself a hug and like, it's a very kind of like connecting with yourself physically and not in like a sexual way, just kind of like in like a kind way and like kind, being kind to your body. That was super powerful with Dee. And then our brunch was like so good. I love
that. Was an abundant food. Brunch.
Yeah, it was so good. And then I know that
spread.
Yeah, and then I led the self-compassion. Talking about being compassionate after trauma, like towards yourself, writing a letter, to yourself in like a compassionate way. And then I think was the yoni steam after that.
Yeah, that was
and
awesome.
The yoni steam was really, really great.
Yeah. I was menstruating, so I didn't get to fully experience it. But I have recently taken the little like steam that she sent home with us. And that was great. Yeah. I tried to, it's like something I want to do regularly. Like after I menstruate, get that yoni vibrating a high energetic level. Yeah. Help me manifest.
Right. Yeah. When I went
manifest through a clear womb.
When I went to other networking events and I told them about our womb retreat, and I kind of like laid out the day and I said like yoni steam, most people didn't know what that was. And so it was a lot of fun explixing it to especially like men in the group too.
Yeah. They should see their yonis.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have yonis, I guess. They have a lingam.
Right. Their area. But I guess like, you know, for people who like don't know, boiling hot water, maybe not boiling, but like really hot water that's like steaming and like putting herbs in it. We had Zaylene who like led us through almost like a guided meditation in the beginning to like get us to connect, you know, with our womb space. And then you put the water in your like vaginal area. And you just kind of like laid there in like a child's pose over it, and it feels like so cleansing, you know, in like a spiritual, energetic way.
And I love, and I still have so much to learn about this. I think I'm certainly not an expert on yonis or womb healing, but I am like a devoted student to it because of how much it impacts me and women in my life, in my community, everything. But the yoni steam is a powerful exercise because it feels like, I don't know how else to describe it other than like a vajacial. It's like a steam facial for your vagina, right? You're exposing your yoni over this steam and the different plants and herbs in that blend. I suppose like a tea kind of that we put in a bowl and squat it over. And all of those herbs have, you know, special functions or nurturing functions to support a healthy, cleansed yoni. Rose and lavender and tulsi and mint, all those things. But it only like solidified for me how powerful the womb is, like energetically speaking, because it's totally a center for manifesting and for it's a center of creation for us, literally. If you're wanting to be a mom, right, bring life into this world physically, but also like in connecting with that sexual, sensual energy that really is a huge part of creating anything, manifesting anything. We talked about human design. I'm sacral led. I'm a sacral authority. So if I want anything to happen in this life as my chaotic manifesting generator self, I guess I got to make sure my womb space is clear and I'm feeling that empowered, when I'm choosing or making choices. But I mean, how I felt after that yoni steam, I was like vibrating. I was clear. It was beautiful, and I know a lot of other women felt that way too.
Yeah, it was super, super powerful and like reconnecting and like even like claiming that area again, because I think also like a lot of women don't look at like, you know, their vagina, they don't like connect with it, they're like, it's there but I don't want to touch it, I don't want to see it. You know, and so it's like a part of us, and like I think that's kind of like where like the shame is connected to as well, and like the more we do connect with it, I think the less, you know, shame will be there, and like the more compassionate you will feel.
Absolutely. Yeah, my sister's 30 years old and she still feels uncomfortable saying the word vagina. And I was like, Rachel, I think we need to work on this.
Yeah, but when we're kids, sometimes we're taught not to say that word because it's like attached to like being like dirty or like a bad word, when it's just a part of our body. Right. And so that's a large part of like things that, you know, and I talk about in my space too.
Absolutely. There's so much conditioning around all of that.
Right.
The literal genitalia of it to even just the concept of the womb. There's so much conditioning around it, which is why spaces like that are so important. So tell me a little bit more about your new space. What's going on for Healing Loudly here?
So I opened up a very large office space. It's 2,200 square feet. It has 10 private rooms, and I'm renting out 7 of them, and I only have 2 left. And I'm getting people in, like their leases started for September 1st. So the 5 people that I have right now are all going to start September 1st, and I'm looking for 2 more right now. They're all therapists, which is, you know, interesting, that I've like just collected, you know, kind of like more like-minded people too. And it's like I want to create a space where like there's community and collaboration. I want to have events in this space. You know, I just want people to feel good about like mental health and like taking care of like themselves and like their wellness.
Yeah, absolutely. Shared vision. I think it's so beautiful, because a lot of the reasons why you're opening your space mirror the exact same reasons that Ritual Space exists too. One of knowing that you want to build your business and you want to feel abundant and supported in doing that. So how do you do that? You create a space where people gather and can network together. But I love, because I know that wasn't necessarily your intention was to only have therapists.
No.
You were open to whoever wanted to kind of, within the scope of wellness, that wanted to rent a space. But that's awesome that you have a whole house.
Therapists. You can choose which therapist you want. Yeah.
That's amazing. So there's 7 of you so far? 8 of you?
So including myself, 6 right now, because the other rooms, one is like
you have a conference room.
Yeah, one is a conference room, and then the other one is like kind of like a suite area. So it's like 2 office spaces and a storage space with like a private entry. So like you can close that space off from like the rest of them.
Cool.
So that space is like one big area that I'm renting for $1,500 because it's double.
Yeah.
And even like a little bit more than double the size of like one office.
Wow.
And then I have one office available, like a singular office.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're hearing this and you're like, hey, I could use that, hit up Sarra. For sure. So 2 more spaces that are available, but those will be snatched up pretty quickly.
I know. I have one office tour tomorrow, so I might drop down to one.
I
don't know.
That's pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you have a team of therapists, which is, I know that you were working in an office with other therapists, and so to have that kind of built-in support is amazing. But it's also, it hits different when you get to create your own space and magnetize that network, that in-house network. So how does it all feel?
Now it's feeling better.
Okay.
So at first it was like fairly like overwhelming and trying to figure out the inspections and just like all the logistics of like opening. But now that the logistics are like more figured out, I get to like focus on the fun things like decorating and adding to my Amazon wish list.
Yes, I was gonna say, have you started that?
Yes, I have. Yeah. So I am leaning towards like boho themed. You know, I have a couple of like people who are giving me some of their furniture, so I'm super grateful for
nice.
them doing that too, to like help with like opening costs, because I'm doing flooring and I'm doing painting, and those are really big expenses. So I'm just really grateful for the people that are like helping me chip in and like really believe in like my vision too.
Listen, this would not be possible if we weren't gifted like furniture and things, found furniture, so much thrifting. But I'm always down to furniture shop. I know we've talked about this. I love furniture shopping. So many places to get cool stuff too for your boho theme.
Yeah, and like even just like opening it in like this space, like I already feel so connected to people who are like wanting to help, that like, you know, I have no expectations of like people helping, but just like people offering to help and like support me is like just such like a weight lifted off of my shoulders. I'm like just so grateful for.
Yeah, you're definitely not doing it alone.
Yeah. And it feels really good to like be in that. And that's like what I want to continue generating in that space. And like that was like my goal in the first place, is to bring together people.
You're doing it. That's pretty epic. What has this always been a part of your plan?
No.
Your vision for your business, for your practice?
No. So I created.
Tell me about that journey.
All I wanted to do was like be a solo practitioner and see clients that, you know, needed help like overcoming abusive situations and like moving through that. That was like my goal in my private practice. On my vision board, I, you know, had that on there. My goal in April, or like my goal for the year, was to get to 25 clients per week. And then in April, I like met my goal of 25 clients per week. And then it became like, well, now what? What do I do now?
Like it's hard.
Got there and I stayed there, and it was like very like consistent with like the, you know, people that like wanted to like come and see me for therapy. So in June, I you know, received some news that like I was gonna have to find a new office space, and I like wasn't sure how that was gonna go, and so I'm like, well, might as well expand. Like it wasn't on my vision board, it wasn't on any plan like whatsoever. I literally made that decision within a few weeks of like realizing I had to like find a new space. And then on top of that, I decided to open up a group practice and hire therapists to like work under me. So I have two 1099 contractors.
So cool.
Yeah, that I'm also filling up their caseloads with clients. And this was
So
just not planned like whatsoever. Like if you would have told me in January when I was making my vision board that this was gonna happen, I'd be like, I don't even have 10 clients yet.
Right?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Right. I'm like, are you like, what do you mean?
It's beautiful. It's just when things align, it flows effortlessly.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to open this place.
Right.
So it's like you can't really question it. You just have to like when it's in alignment, it flows.
Yeah, like when you're so focused on like your purpose and like what you want to like create, like things will just fall into place. Like I remember coming here for the abundance mindset workshop, and that was like one of the other first experiences that I had at Ritual Space. And you know, I told them my plan and like my goals, and like I was so anxious about like not reaching like my goals, and everyone was like so reassuring, and they're like, you have to do this, like you have to like open up your office space even if you don't have any clients. Like I signed a lease without having any clients in my practice, and like just the support I got from here was really nice. I'm sure you kind of like remember like talking about that.
I do remember that. LOL, abundance mindset.
And one of the phrases that I carry with me today that like helps me stay inspired is comes from that like that workshop that we did, and it's if you build it, they'll come.
Yeah,
you know,
it's true.
Yeah,
they do. I think a huge part of manifesting, which is also like the scariest part of it, at least in like keeping this abundant mindset and knowing that you can have the things that you want simply because you want them, but you also have to make space for them. So for you to open an office, right, to lease an office, even without having clients, it's like, but you are telling your potential clients, the energy you're putting out there is that, but I'm ready for them, and I have the space for them, and then they come.
Right, it's the ready to receive, and it's like that receiving energy that like was like so helpful for me to learn like in the very beginning, and that like really started here, that kind of like mindset work.
Yeah, I loved those gatherings. You know, just having a conversation with Melissa Vieira, and I think we're gonna do another one, but it's gonna be guided like group hypnosis and Reiki.
Okay,
around
cool.
Abundance mindset.
Yeah, because like regardless of like where you are in your journey with business, like it's something that you always have to like be on top of, because like you can fall into like that lack and scarcity mindset just like so easily.
Oh my god, so easily.
Right.
Yeah, so I was talking to a client today, and they were worrying about money that wasn't coming in that they're expecting, but it's delayed or they don't know when they'll get it. And how that triggered some wounds around lack of not having what they need. And, you know, it was a matter of like $400, which is like, you know, and it's like she was trying to like get away from the stress around an anticipation, but also like needing to like address the anger and like the frustration. And I don't know, it was a really interesting conversation that we had about abundance, because it's like, you know, when I'm in my abundance, I'm not worried about $400.
Yeah.
And also, like, if this situation that's out of your control can't give you that $400 that's owed to you, that is in lack. And no wonder you can't resonate with it because you've been working so much on your abundance mindset and building that for yourself. So when you see that lack, it's like, of course it's frustrating and it brings that back up. You have to know lack to know abundance. It's like contrast. You know, you have to know one to know the other.
Right.
So it's a part of the journey with abundance, but to like also observe it. And
like
be
outside of you.
Yeah, be like, okay, that I recognize as lack and I don't want to participate in that because I don't need to worry about $400 coming in. Where I can't get it here, where I'm owed, it's going to come to me elsewhere in like tenfold. And I think, I don't know, maybe it's delusional, but it's also energy work at the same time. And all of these inner beliefs that we have to have that support our abundance as well. I mean, what has that journey been like for you and all of this? I know you show up in spaces and you talk about abundant mindset and you participate in those conversations, but that inner journey, especially from going from like, I don't have any clients, but I'm opening this office to now I have more clients than I can handle. I'm hiring people and opening a 10 unit spot, like what has that abundance mindset journey been like for you?
Oh, so much fear. So much fear, right? Working through like a lot of fear, financially, like coming from like, nonprofit work where I was like providing free services, therapy, for survivors, into, like what I'm like charging now, which is $150 per session. Like that's, even in itself, like a big leap that like you have to get used to. And like just believing that like you're deserving of it, you're deserving of like good things coming your way, and that like everything is like going to work out. Like I have to like, I come back to like my purpose every single time, and like every time that like I come back to that, like I just can't do anything differently. Like it just like it won't let me. I like have to stay on this path.
100%. I think something that I know about you and observing you, even just in you talking about it, is like you have had a pretty consistent, steady emotional connection to your vision and your purpose, which I think is like the biggest part of working and achieving your goals, is having the emotional investment in it. I love this. I want this for me. This is for me. And like knowing that, even if you didn't consciously know it, there was something about you, even when you were in high school, that you're like, no, this is dope. Yeah. Right. This feels right.
Yeah. Very like unwavering. Like it's never really wavered. Like
is that your Virgo?
Maybe.
Is that Virgo energy?
That could be. Right. Just so like, I need 8 hours of sleep.
Shit is on lock.
Right. Exactly. There's a path. And that is it.
It works for you, man.
Yeah.
Say what you want, but it's working for you. I feel like that's such a big piece, and like seeing such, growth even in a short period of time too. Yeah. It's like if you eat, sleep, and breathe it. Yeah. It has no choice but to exist.
When I was doing like some of like business like training and marketing and stuff like that, they talked about like niching and like if you're talking to everyone, then you're talking to no one. And I like tried that for a little bit. I'm like, well, I kind of want to talk to everybody because, and when I tried doing that, I was like, no, we need to talk about this. Like, we need to talk about trauma. We need to talk about like sexual abuse and like continue. Like, it just kept on like coming back up in my mind. Like, my mind wouldn't like let it like go elsewhere.
Right. Yeah. I feel that's true. Because I tried doing, I can see anyone can come sit in my chair, which is true. Anyone can. Yes. Anyone's welcome. Right. Anyone who wants to do the work, I want to do that work too.
Right.
And you've seen my fucking roller coaster of journey with my practice, but it just, when I don't feel like I can really show up fully and authentically or feel that emotional connection with it, it just doesn't work. It doesn't happen. So smoking cessation, fear of flying, sure, I can absolutely help you with that. And I do. And we will get to the bottom of it. We will solve it. But it wasn't lighting me up. It wasn't like a niche aligned way to go about my practice.
Fit, yeah.
Yeah. Until I realized like, oh, what do I actually want to talk about all the time? My womb. I want to talk about your womb. I want to talk about what that means for us as a collective of women. in this fucking world that we live in. It was Heather on one of our, I think, previous episodes was talking about like the collective of the feminine, the divine feminine collective, women as a collective. Really, like if we were in a world where women were in charge, we wouldn't see any of these issues that are happening, because I don't know a woman that exists that would be okay with children starving to death, you know, conflict between, it's just like, or I don't know, we don't need to get political on this, or maybe we fucking should, but I don't know. I think there is a great rise in feminine energy happening. A lot of women consciously taking control over their experience. So many of us are pretty fucking fed up with how we see things going on.
Yeah, and women need to be like in leadership positions and like have seats at the table. We're just equals, and treating yourselves as equals in that way.
Yeah.
And I think also like whenever you tend to like stray, it's because sometimes I like have like a straying tendency too. That's like the manifesting generator in us. The shiny object syndrome. Ooh. Right?
What about this
like,
idea?
That looks like so cool, and like it can be, but it might not be for me.
Yeah.
And just like appreciating it when like other people like, you can see like their energy in that and like giving that to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Women are so powerful. And I know for myself, I have my own conditioning that I've been working through continuously and have worked through. All these reasons where I felt like I had to play small to fit into spaces or in the company of other people, like to fit into a man's life. Like these things that I just have learned that this is how I like survive, or this is how I like can get my needs met if I can just be less. So I'm less to handle and take care of, which is obviously not how I want to live fully as myself. Yeah. So this journey of allowing myself to take up space is a journey I think I'll continue to be on for a long time, because it'll evolve and mean different things to me. I noticed myself, even in just like going into like more networking spaces,
right,
of like, okay, Jill, you have things to say, you have things to offer, like get out there, girl, show up in that space, take up space, tell people who you are, like I have to like hype myself up, because even in just groups of women sometimes too, I catch the resistance show up, which is learned. And also I can observe that, and I don't have to participate in that, because I'm choosing to show up differently. Now I get to decide how I express myself as a woman, as a business person, as a therapist, whatever. But even in just in instances of like social networking,
right?
Like I feel like there's still this like, let me coach myself through how I deserve to show up in this, and trust that I'll be received well. But it's like all of this mind medicine that I help other people with. I have to do it for myself every fucking day. Do you therapize yourself?
Like CBT skill 101. This is what we're doing today. One mindfully is gonna go in my pocket. Sometimes I like think about those things. And it is difficult, like to take up space and like the cultural and societal like conditioning like around women. And it can feel very like scary and like vulnerable and like all eyes on you in a way. But it's not like bad, and like the more like you show up and like take this space, the less like anxious you're gonna feel around it too. Exposing yourself to like people that where like you feel heard. One of my favorite quotes is like Maya Angelou. When one woman stands up for herself, she stands up for all women.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the same thing with like taking up space. Like when you like take up space, then you're also like helping other women, showing them that it's okay for them to do it too.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's so true. I've been thinking about that concept just for myself lately. I mean, I love that quote. I love Maya Angelou. I've been thinking about that, especially with in regards to like my sister lately. I don't know. My sister is on the spectrum And I think she's easily discounted in spaces that she's in. And she has her own perspective of the world, her own unique lens, and she's not thinking about that when she steps into a space. She's just her big, full self. Which I learned from her, honestly, how to show up, because she's not thinking about what other people perceive, because her perception is different than mine. But I also, I guess, as her sister and someone who feels very protective of her, I see how other people respond to her. So I don't know why that just made me think of that, but it makes me want to show up. I think of certain women when I choose to take up space, but also the women that teach me how to take up space are the women that I'm also thinking of when I'm doing that.
It's like the permission almost kind of piece. Like, if you can do it, I can do it too. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I think about like also like how like I grew up, and I can't like really picture any like direct messaging, but like I do know when I was a kid I was so shy. Like, I mean, I like was like the epitome of like introverted, but I don't think I was really introverted, you know. It was just kind of like that fear of like talking to people, not confident, hide in my room kind of kid, you know. And just like so scared to like use my voice and take up space, like not wanting to raise my hand in the classroom even though I knew the answers, you know, all of those things.
I don't know, I think about it, and it's like when I think of myself and like my younger self, my inner child ever like feeling that way, you know, there's a part of me that's like, well, no, like you're gonna show up and because you're gonna show up with excellence, no doubt, like you got this, you have nothing to worry about. But then I also still catch myself like maybe that's my inner child, that's that resistance, or I'm not sure what it is.
Maybe I got it.
Well, we'll do some work on it,
right? Just deep diving.
Oh, man. It's so interesting. Okay, well, how do you participate in womb healing?
I come here. I have my yoni steam bowl.
Your Target salad bowl.
Yes. I might have eaten out of it. I mean, like showing up like in a lot of like feminine spaces too, like very like powerful feminine spaces, I think like are like helpful for me as well. Women like business owned places, connecting with like women like leaders, you know, those different like things I think like help me feel like connected to like my womb space and like feeling powerful on that too.
Oh yeah, there's nothing more inspiring than being around other women in their power. It's a powerful mirror back to me of everything that I am capable of.
Right.
So it, you know, it's interesting. I feel like I'm coming out of a place where I was feeling a lot of insecurity because I really didn't know what I was doing, or felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I had told myself I didn't know what I was doing, right? Whatever these limiting beliefs were. And I can see as I'm thinking of situations of like, oh yeah, that's how that impacts me in those spaces, or even how I like promote my business or anything like that. And I can observe that a little bit better now than obviously when I was in the depths of that feeling of insecurity. But being in the company of women that want to like hold you accountable to your excellence and support you, and hold that standard for you, like hold that vibration for you, I think it both like almost like I felt it trigger my insecurity, but also it's a really active choice to participate in that or not, right? You can either be like, okay, I recognize like there's that feeling, but also it's not true. That's a false narrative.
Same time.
Right? Like two truths at one time. That I feel it and I can honor that I'm feeling that and also understand it's not real. It's not true. And I can choose to participate in the mirror that I'm seeing and like appreciate it and love it. So if I can love that about you and love that about other women in their power, or that are really just giving it their all and showing up fully, then fuck it. I'm going to see myself in that mirror and like love it too.
Yeah. I like the, that mindset of like the acceptance and acknowledgement of like what's coming up and not like being dismissive or ignoring of it. And then choosing how you want to move forward. you can continue choosing moving forward in that like that fear, that's showing up, or you can acknowledge that it's there and choose to move forward in empowerment.
Yeah. Make a different choice. Because you can participate in that narrative. For me, I had been participating in that narrative, and then feeling shame about doing that. And so it only really the limiting belief cycle. The only way I think to really change it is to choose a different experience and to practice that feeling of being safe. And hypnosis, my method of like teaching my nervous system that new feeling that I actually want to honor and hold and participate in, rather than the comfortability of fear or shame, the familiarity of it. It's really safe, and to like believe that you're small,
right,
and that you don't deserve to take up space because you can't make waves if you're small. It's just easier if I just don't say anything. How many times have I said that to myself?
Right.
And have I heard other women say that to themselves? But that's just not authentic. So I think I've learned that for myself. I work through that with my own clients of we can honor the old feeling and we can understand where it came from and how we've been conditioned that, but we do not have to participate in that. So unsubscribe from that from that narrative.
Button.
Yeah, unlike block block that narrative, and we can choose another one.
What's like it's like reminding me of like what you like choose is like the active choice that you're like saying. It's like very like behavioral, and like acknowledging like those thoughts and like those feelings that come up, and then what like action steps are you gonna take, in like kind of like a positive like intent way. Our brains are always trying to protect us.
Yes. Our brains love us so much.
I know. And so that's why like that part is like coming up is like like don't say anything. It's like it like it's trying to protect you,
right,
from like maybe embarrassment, maybe from XYZ. It doesn't mean that's true.
Right.
And I think that's kind of like what you're saying too. And just acknowledging that part as like a part of you that is like just trying to protect like your own well-being.
Totally.
And it's not like something that's bad, that you should like even feel ashamed about coming up. But it's the choice of, continuing in it or not.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. All of these practices that we explored womb healing with in the retreat, or just in my own practice of learning what that even looks like or means to me and how I want to introduce that to other people. That all of that work has helped me feel into that space. I told this story when we had the retreat of like how I even, I guess, realized I was doing wound healing. Like it was something I had loosely heard of before, but it wasn't until healing from just dealing with emotions after a breakup. And this was like a year after, and I was still feeling them so heavily. I was like, I gotta follow these emotions. I gotta see where these are at and what is the cause, because it was stuck. It was just stuck. It was just kept coming up. So when I did my hypnosis and I went in and I followed the emotion, it took me to my womb space, and I saw myself as this defeated, like distraught, like abandoned, like version of myself, just so sad and upset, and just in that own of seeing myself in that emotion that was, my visual representation of what was stuck. And I was able to address it. I mean, in this like this meditation, I like shrunk into a baby as I was holding myself, and I was like, oh, this goes back way back. Like no boy ever hurt me. Like it just triggered this feeling that I could maybe trace back all the way back to like infancy.
Yeah, so young,
which is, it's wild. But I think that also that helps me realize too, like, okay, like it wasn't anything that was ever wrong. It is something that I think all human beings experience that feeling of abandonment or
Mm-hmm.
rejection or lack. And now that I'm conscious of it, I have a responsibility to
Mm-hmm.
have a different experience. I can choose a different experience.
Right. You can always like
Participate
create
in
more
it.
of like that like secure attachment with yourself.
Right.
You know, like if it, you know, starting from like that young, there might be, you know, some attachment, you know, happening. But it doesn't mean that like you're helpless to it now.
Right.
You know, and like you can, you know, understand it and like work with it. And I love like the visualizations. I love, you know, the meditations and like guided hypnosis, like to help like visualize and like connection with that space. And then I love like the restorative yoga pieces too. You know, and like the slow movements like just really help you like be connected with your body, and like recognize like what's like happening on like a taking it slow, you know, kind of level instead of like this like go 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 like rush rush rush, you know, American culture kind of like mindset, you know, like that, those kinds of things.
Yeah, and it feels that feels like a very almost like masculine approach to like solving problems. Like let's just keep going. Like I don't really want to. We don't have to dwell on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the actual healing comes when you can sit with it, and address it, and not power through,
or have to run away.
Like crap. Yeah, or run away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This comes up in your work with clients.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like survival responses is kind of like, you know, how we work through like our healing too, like recognizing like what survival responses, like the fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and like working like through those moments too. A lot of people like with trauma symptoms like want to avoid like those emotions, like not acknowledge it, like minimize, dismiss like what's like happened. And the only way to move through it is to be in acceptance. And so we have to accept like what's happening like in our bodies. And like the more like people do that, the more that they will just naturally see like those like survival responses decrease. But we can't move through anything if we don't accept it. If we just kind of like look away from it, like it's never going to be addressed.
Yeah.
You're going to have the same issues and sometimes and usually even grow larger.
Well, it's like denying a very real part of yourself.
Right.
I mean, and just in my own experience to like not address my pain until I allowed myself to go there and witness that and to feel it and to follow it. I mean, I feel like that's when I was able to really see the extent of my pain. I had to like see it that way because I too was detached from my womb. I couldn't really connect to that space for myself. And that's just how it showed up for me in my, you know, that visualization I had. But totally, I think you have to, if you just ignore it, it didn't happen, but it very much did and very much impacted you.
Right. Yeah. The acknowledgement piece is like step one.
Yeah.
You know, like there has to be like this willingness to see the pain, and to address the pain. And the pain is there and it needs love and it needs you to support it through compassion. The more we ignore the pain, the larger it grows, and it just wants to show you like, hey, I'm important and I need you. Like I need, you know, love. I need, you know, whatever like that is. And so it's like if you continue ignoring it, it's like it's just never going to go away.
That's why it's so important to have a whole suite of therapists.
Right, exactly.
Available to you, so you have options. I feel like that kind of, finding a therapist in itself that really resonates with you is like a journey in itself. It's like dating for therapists. I've been through it too. I get it. But I think I'm really excited to see how this space that you're creating unfolds, continues to unfold, and what that looks like and feels like when there are bodies in their, you know, offices and like furniture, and like you can see it all come together.
Yeah, like when I was like picking out the space, it was like me and my realtor, and I was like, okay, like I can see this happening here, and then like I would go home and be like, but will other people just like be able to have like the same vision as me? And so it didn't feel like really like true, like valid, like until I brought in like people that wanted to rent the space, and like once they're in it, they like could see like my vision, and like and then to see kind of like, okay, like this is like, you know, something that other people like can connect with, like it just made it feel more like lively and like active rather than just like me, myself, and like my perspective.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like when you are you put yourself in the leadership position, and you have the vision, you hold the vision, it can be a lonely journey at first, because you have to like have people catch on to what you're saying. And
right.
So it can be a slow and lonely journey sometimes, but it is so gratifying when people are like, oh yeah, I totally see it, let's do this.
Yeah, and so that's like what's like starting to like happen, and it's like so exciting, like seeing people like get excited about like being in the space with me.
Oh yeah. No, that's awesome. Opening date.
So
is that feels like maybe a hard thing.
September 1st for people like to start like working in there, and then I'm thinking about doing a grand opening in November. Yes, so I'm excited about that. And as soon as I get like all my furniture and smooth out some of the rest of the like, you know, things coming out.
Give yourself time to get settled.
Yeah, feel like, good in my space.
Create the vibration of your space. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Totally. We have to do like a space blessing.
Yes, that would be good.
Do I need consent from other people in their offices to do that? Probably.
Yeah, I think they would be open to it, but I will just double check with them.
Those are important. A space, set intention for your space.
Yeah.
Bring some witchiness to you. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Ready?
How fucking, yeah.
I know, it just feels like a dance party in my body.
I mean, it must feel so good.
Yeah.
Especially now that you are filling the space, because obviously there's a moment in time when you're like, what am I going to do? How am I going to fill this space?
And I'm like, oh my gosh, so many offices.
You do have a lot of offices.
Yeah, but I mean, they're getting booked up.
To each their own.
Yeah. And it's the same thing of like, you know, when I was trying to like build like my solo practice and like get clients in the door.
Yes.
It's that same feeling of like, I have so many open slots open, you know, like for appointments.
Just making space for the right people to align and file in. It just happens. What are some things that you've learned on this journey that you would want whether it's therapists starting their practice or just women in business starting their practice or growing their business? What have you learned along this path?
That it's going to happen, you know, like you will get there. And it's just kind of like taking time, you know, and being patient with yourself, and continuously like putting yourself out there, even if like no one is like coming through the door, but like just staying like in line with like your purpose and staying very like consistent with that. People will see your vision, you know, as long as you're consistent in your vision.
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
Show up, eat, sleep, breathe it, do it, and just keep doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's I mean, you talk about self-compassion. You talked about it in the retreat. You talk about it all the time because it's so important. It's essential to do anything hard or anything at all. I think.
Yeah.
And that's been a big area of my personal healing, is compassion for myself. Don't know why it was so hard.
Why is it so difficult?
Why is it so hard? But I learned that voice is not my voice. That's not being compassionate. To me, that's other people's voices that just live in my head rent free. Yeah, you
get to decide like kind of like what you pick up and take on as your own. And like when you're around people that are like negative or positive, like sometimes those become like more ingrained in you. But there's actually like 3 positive like components of self-compassion. I think like the one that you're hitting on is like self-kindness, kind of like that self-talk. The 2 other ones are common humanity, and that's recognizing that you're not alone in this process. And then the 3rd one is mindfulness. So being present with everything. Because like when we're in anxiety, we're living too far forward in the future and negative. Like bad things are going to happen. What if this? What if that? And then when we're too far in the past, that's when depression happens.
Yeah.
But when we're mindful, we're present in that peace and like, taking one thing at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. Living in the present. It's hard.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, especially like when you're in business and trying to plan everything.
Yeah.
It's like you have to plan, so you can't stay too like right here and right now. Otherwise, you're just putting out fires.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I told you before we came on, I was like, I have a master to-do list for outlining tasks for every week from now until this like January 2026. And you were like, what?
Oh my God. But I'm overwhelmed thinking about that.
That's just what I needed to relieve my anxiety and to bring myself. Well, no, I mean, I guess it allows me to rest in the present, knowing that I can see the goal.
Right. It's going to get taken care of in
the
October.
Bigger picture. Right. Yeah. Exactly. But just as a small business owner running my own practice in this beautiful space, it's like, I just need the blueprint. I need to make sure that I'm aligning everything.
Yeah.
At least have aligned action steps available to me every week until the end of the year.
Right. And I think like your master task list is it's giving your anxiety like a home. It's like, okay, you can like live here and like we're gonna take care of you, like don't worry. And then you like come back and like you're like, okay, and this is what I have to do right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. It allows. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I can rest knowing that we figured that out. Well, this chat was delicious. We yapped over our time, if you can believe it. I'm just so shocked by that. But Sarah, I'm so glad that you took time out of your busy schedule to yap, to talk about this important work that you're doing in this beautiful community of gals we got here doing this aligned work. Where can people find you?
They can connect with me on Instagram. My Instagram is @sessionswithsarra. And then my website is healingloudly.com.
Great. I will put all of her details in the comments section below or in the description so you can check her out if this resonates with you. Keep your eyes peeled for grand opening details for Healing Loudly LLC in the new spaces. That's the name of the space?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep.
You'll see Sarah around these parts too. We have a birthday coming up.
Yes, in a couple of weeks.
Dirty 30. Let's go. Come through and celebrate if you're invited. I guess if you're not, you wish you were. Don't be here. This is a safe space. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Yay. It's over.